Hello, everybody. Welcome to Mr. B Clothing today on what's a gloomy Thursday. Tim Sitzmann. It's a gloomy Thursday. We're here on. There's nothing gloomy about Clive, Iowa, Mr. B Clothing, but man,
it's gloomy outside, but it's sunshiny in here. We got the lights on. We're ready for.
No, I'm not even talking about the weather. I'm talking about.
Oh, it's a gloomy. Yeah, but you know what? We got to walk on the sunny side of the street. We're still even on the basketball scene.
So you can convince the 15,000 Iowa State fans that come on our site every single day. Okay, Tim, convince them that the sun is shining.
I'm not saying that the bad loss is hard to get over. What I'm saying is that you got to look at the overall. We're still most likely going to get going through the rest of the season, get a good position in the NCAA. We got a team that's going to be a tough draw no matter who gets them.
That's true.
You know, sometimes the luck just goes the other way. And, you know, playing on the road in any conference is very, very difficult. I don't care who you are, and I don't care what the record is. Unfortunately, they were in front of a home crowd of 6,000 people or less. I'm not even sure about that. But we got to look at the sunny side. I have a great feeling that the Coach Hoiberg and his staff are working very hard to understand this thing, and we have a great quality coach. We have to stand behind, and I'm still on the sunny side of the street.
Here's the deal about the road thing. They're not going on the road and completely laying eggs. They did against Texas Tech, but the other games, Tim, they've showed up and played fairly well. I mean, last night wasn't a perfect game, but Texas is not the same Texas that you saw in Hilton Coliseum. You know,
no.
Sheldon McClellan played 1 minute in that game. Mike Kabongo wasn't even there. That's their two best players,
right.
Period. And that's a completely different team. Sure, they've, 3 conference wins now. I think Texas has 6 or 7 by the end of the year with the roster that they're putting out there right now. Then you look at Oklahoma State, Kansas State, and Kansas. It's the 3 best teams in the league.
Right.
You were down to the wire, heartbreaking losses in 2 of the 3. I don't think they played great against Kansas State. I'm not going to say that. But my point is, it's not like they're just not getting off the plane. I feel like if they bring some of these efforts to Oklahoma, potentially Baylor, that'll be a tough one. In West Virginia, you can win the basketball game. I thought about Texas too, but
they can win any. They've been in all of them.
If they go out there and hit 13 threes like they did against Oklahoma, they can beat anybody on a given night. So that's why I don't. If you're completely throwing in the towel, I think you're making a big mistake because you could miss out on some fun basketball.
And I think in any sport, it's always the what ifs.
Yeah,
it's always the what ifs. But whether it be golf, if I would have made that putt, I would have had a better round.
Yeah.
But, well, the reality
of it. There's a story of my life right there. If I wouldn't have shanked the 4 tee shots,
we also got to remember the putts that we made.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the same thing goes true with the basketball season. And you know that. With the Cyclones, they certainly have the ability to win. They could win out. They could certainly win out.
I don't think they will, but they could.
They could certainly win out. They played hard
if
enough.
They get hot, you know.
And I know the fan base is very disappointed in last night, as I am. But I see some things that are going to have to be corrected. You know, obviously, and the challenge is always in coaching, and that's an occupation that everybody thinks is easy. It's very tough, and we have one of the best coaches in the nation up at Cyclone Stadium. I believe that, and I think that we're still on the sunny side of the street.
So you know when you're here at Mr. B, you got people coming in from all over,
right?
They're Iowans, and you got Hawkeye fans. You got
we have both. We have Drake fans. We have UNI fans.
It's been a hell of a season, though.
Right, it has.
Because I mean, in Iowa too, they've had heartbreaking. I mean, I'm just saying, like
they have a lot of what ifs.
My point is here at Mr. B, you guys have probably had some interesting conversations with sports fans this year.
It's in the state.
A lot of heartbreakers.
A lot of what ifs, and in both Iowa State. Drake has had some good wins and some bad losses, and so that just goes with sports. But I think when they put on their tennis shoes, Iowa State still has the best opportunity in Iowa to show
Absolutely.
up in the NCAA and be a quality team and maybe upset a real quality team because they can play with anybody on a given night.
And here's the good thing too. I saw a lot of folks. It seems to me that their issue now is. Well, one, they still have to get into the NCAA tournament. We do know that. But two, like their seed's probably not going to be great.
Right.
And you're right. and that's disappointing. But at the same time, this year's tournament, I think, is going to be a lot different than those of the past. There's no Kentucky this year. I mean, it is so wide open. I think if Iowa State can get into that 7-10 game somehow, or even get the 11s, I don't even care if you take it all, because you can take on a 3 seed in the next round. You know what I mean? There's not a ton of teams out there that I'm like, there's no way Iowa State could beat these guys.
There may be a team in the top 30, 35 that gets red hot
Yeah.
and win it all. And it could be Iowa State getting to the finals. We don't know.
Well, if they're shooting 40% from three-point range, who knows?
They're in any game. But, I think that there's probably, in reality, the top. There's probably, you could pick 20 teams that really have a legitimate shot because they have depth and they have the right things going for them. And Iowa State has a lot of depth and a lot of good quality players. So let's stay positive about it. I'm sure that that coaching staff at Iowa State is staying very positive about it, and they know what's ahead of them, and they have challenges.
Tim, you got a lot of quality players here at Mr. B. Mike and
Mac and
the whole
Steve
crews.
is here today.
Steve is your point guard.
He is. He's but
running the show.
He gets a little angry once in a while, but he gets it done. He would have fouled that guy, huh?
What's up with that? Just foul the guy. Just foul the guy.
Just foul the guy. Well, sometimes in the message when you get in the huddle, you understand it, and then when you get out there to really do it, there's a lot of great ideas and great things, but in theory, you still have to execute. And when you don't, that's what happens.
So where are we at in the clothing world right now?
The clothing
are
world
we in between? Are we in
the
between?
clothing world is turned upside down. We're into spring, and the weather forecast looks pretty good the last couple of days. We're warm. It's Valentine's Day for some of you ladies out there, some of you men who haven't maybe bought something for your loved one. Come on in. We're here till 7.
She doesn't watch generally because she's I haven't bought anything yet. I haven't got a card yet.
I think you could come in and buy a nice thing for your wife or for your man. And Mr. B's, we wrap it for you. We get it ready for you to take home. So Valentine's is here, and then spring is here. We got a lot of great things coming in. It's coming in daily. We invite you to come in and see us and say hello to Mike, Mac, and Steve. They're here today till 7. And if they'll work longer if you come in late. I'd like to get them to work a little harder. See, late. No, really. We close at 7.
Get the whip out.
We let them go home at 7 so they can have some fun with their family tonight. It's Valentine's Day. So come in and say hello.
Tim Sitzmann, I'm Chris Williams, 1995 Northwest 86th Street in Clive. We'll see you next week,
Clones.
everybody. Take care.